Hi, my name is Jessica Abawag, and I'm the owner and speech-language pathologist of Fluens Children's Therapy, where we provide speech and occupational therapy for kids with locations in Tacoma, Washington, and Columbia, Tennessee. Today we're going to be talking about what all of these pediatric therapy insurance terms mean. So many parents and any individual really gets overwhelmed when it comes to navigating the insurance system. And the sad part about it is that confusion often prohibits people from seeking out private speech therapy when their kids could really benefit from it. So today we're going to talk about some of the most common terms. These are not all of them, but once you feel confident in moving forward with insurance, you'll be able to better understand how to navigate the system so that you can confidently know whether private speech therapy will work for your family's budget and schedule. So let's begin. The first term we're going to be talking about is deductible. A deductible is the amount of money that you would pay before insurance starts paying for part or all of your therapy sessions. Typically, this payment is made to the providers. So, for instance, if you have a deductible of $5,000 per year, whatever your speech therapy session costs, let's say it costs $100. So you would pay your provider $100 each session until you meet $5,000 for the year, and then your insurance company will start to pay part of that so you don't have to pay the full $100. That's what a deductible is. So it's important when you are talking with your human resources or your boss when it comes to choosing an insurance plan to know what your deductible is per year. If you have a high deductible, sometimes you are offered an HSA card, and a lot of therapy providers will take those cards, similar to a debit or a credit card. The next term we're going to talk about is a copay. A copay is quite different from a deductible in that it's a flat fee each time. So if you have a copay of $20 each time you bring your child to a therapy session, you would just be responsible for paying the provider $20 each time, regardless if it's an evaluation or a therapy session. No matter how much is charged for the session, you as the patient would pay the same amount each time. That's what a copay is. A co-insurance is the percent of the billed amount that your provider charges per session. A co-insurance is typically what you would pay after your deductible is met. So say you have a $5,000 deductible, you've met that, meaning you've used medical services. And one thing to keep in mind is that these terms are in regards to all medical services, not just speech therapy services. So let's say your child unfortunately has an accident, needs to go to the ER, you pay some money to that provider. You've got speech therapy sessions, you pay money to that provider. You go to the pediatrician for a cold, you pay money to that provider. All of that money combined is what counts towards the deductible. So once that is met, you might have to owe a co-insurance. So going back to our example, if your session costs $100 and you have a 10% co-insurance, after you've met your deductible, then you would start paying your provider $10 per session. So that's where a co-insurance comes in. It's a percent of how much they bill. So in that regard, if an evaluation costs more than a therapy session, then you will pay a higher amount for an evaluation if you have a co-insurance, because it's 10% of whatever your provider is billing. The next thing we're going to be talking about is a hard max. Some insurance plans, when it comes to speech therapy, have what is called a hard max. And that means that's the most amount of sessions that your child can be seen per year that insurance will cover. And that varies quite a big range from 10 to 20 to 100. So if it's a hard max, that means you cannot ask for more sessions. There are sometimes things called a soft max, which means once you reach that limit, you can go back to the insurance company and ask for more sessions, whether it's you or your provider. But a hard max means that's it. That doesn't mean you have to stop seeing your speech therapist. You can continue seeing them, but insurance is not going to pay for those sessions. You would have to pay out of pocket and work with your provider on that. The last term we're going to talk about today is prior authorization. A prior authorization is something that some insurance plans require, which means that your provider, your speech therapist, needs to get permission from the insurance company before they're able to see you for treatment. Usually not something that you as the patient can request. It often has to come from the provider, and it needs to be documentation and whatnot showing that the services are medically necessary. Medical necessity is often a term that insurance companies will require to be sure that it's not just an elective procedure. And again, prior authorization means you typically cannot be seen by the therapist if you want insurance to pay for the sessions until that is obtained. These are just some of the terms that insurance companies will use, but once you start to understand them better, you can more confidently navigate the system to get your child the support that they need. If you're still unsure or need additional help in this area, don't hesitate to reach out to us, as one of our team members will be happy to walk you through it. We know, and we worked with insurance companies day in and day out, how confusing the system can be. So we don't want that to stop you from getting help for your child that he or she may need.